The biggest story in college football right now isn't teams fighting for spots in the new 12-team college football playoff. And while this past weekend provided plenty of storylines in the final leg of the season, Deion Sanders, number 16 Colorado Buffaloes, being upset by the 4-6 Kansas Jayhawks, the 5-5 Florida Gators shocking number 9 Ole Miss, and unranked Auburn taking down number 15 Texas A&M in a 4-overtime thriller. The biggest storyline in college football happened off the field. I'm talking about Bryce Underwood, the top quarterback in the 2025 recruiting class, who shocked the sports world and flipped his commitment from Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers to Sharon Moore and the Michigan Wolverines.
And Kevin, hold on. We are getting breaking news that is just in right now. Bryce Underwood, ESPN's #1 recruit in the class of 2025, is flipping his commitment to the Michigan Wolverines. He told school officials today, a huge day for Michigan head football coach Sharon Moore as they land the highest rated recruit in school history. He was supposed to go to LSU to be with Brian Kelly, and now he apparently is flipping his commitment and going to the Michigan Wolverines. They land their standout, prized quarterback. Big news in your world, the college football world, as Michigan gets Bryce Underwood.
Underwood is a consensus 5-star prospect and not just the #1 quarterback in the class, but the #1 overall football player in the country. Underwood has been nothing short of a beast throughout his entire high school football career. He stands at 6'3" and 215 pounds, won 2 state championships, and threw for more than 70 touchdown passes at Belleville High School in Belleville, Michigan. This freakish play earned Underwood nearly 50 scholarship offers from schools all over the country, including Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and Tennessee, to name a few. The University of Michigan, which is just a short 30-minute drive from Underwood's hometown of Belleville, also made Underwood a scholarship offer early on in his high school career. But after Underwood felt disrespected and ignored by former Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh, Underwood verbally committed to LSU and Brian Kelly in January 2024 after his junior season. But fast forward to today, and Underwood is trading LSU purple and gold for Michigan maize and blue, after flipping his commitment in the 11th hour. Most people assume Michigan did its best impression of the Godfather Vito Corleone and made the 17-year-old Underwood a name, image, and likeness offer that he couldn't refuse. But the real story involves years of pursuit from Michigan, a massive flex from the second richest man on the planet, Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy, NFL legend Tom Brady, and even Connor Stalions. Yes, that Connor Stalions, the same one who got caught leading an elaborate sign-stealing scheme for the very school Underwood has now committed to. But we'll get to that in a bit. Now, it's no secret that NIL money is the driving force in this new world of college football. Massive football programs like Ohio State and Ole Miss will pay their players more than $20 million this year. And that money pot is about to get even bigger when the NCAA starts allowing schools to share up to $22 million per year with its athletes. And that $22 million is on top of the NIL money that players currently get. Want a good quarterback on your roster today? Well, that can be yours for a cool $1 million. How about a running back? Don't even ask if you aren't willing to cough up mid to high 6 figures on a deal. Pick a position, any position. If you're a good player at a school with a real shot at making the expanded 12-team college football playoff, you're now almost guaranteed to make hundreds of thousands of dollars each season. Not bad for a sport that didn't allow any cash payments to players just 3 years ago. I think Reggie Bush would like to have a word. But the truth is, college football is a massive business. I often joke that if you ranked America's biggest sports league, the NFL would be 1A. College football would be 1B, and then there's a massive gap between everyone else, the NBA, MLB, NHL, and MLS included. When NIL was allowed in 2021, everyone said it would destroy college football, taking out the passion and loyalty everyone loves about the game because players could now get paid. But guess what? That didn't happen. People watched more minutes of college football last year than any other year in history. Instead, NIL has added a new scene to the world's greatest soap opera. There's more money, more drama, and more rivalries than ever before. And Bryce Underwood flipping his commitment from LSU to Michigan is the latest example in this General Hospital world of college football. The story began last year when Underwood openly talked about feeling slighted by Jim Harbaugh and Michigan, telling CBS Sports that the Wolverines were going down south to find more players instead of what they have in their backyard, referring to himself as the top football prospect in the country. But then, in the words of WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross, business picked up earlier this football season. The Michigan Wolverines looked like a shell of their 2024 championship-winning team, and Michigan alum and Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy had had enough, publicly proclaiming that he would commit up to $3 million in NIL money to bring a top quarterback to the Wolverines.
Michigan, I will be the quarterback guy. You just say, Dave, you go. I'll talk to Sharon. Who do you guys want? Who's in there? Give me a group. I'll go get them. I will sign them $1 million, $2 million, whatever it is.
What's the top?
$3 million.
What if, are some of them going for more? Wasn't the Nico kid
fine, but I can get a quarterback. We don't have a quarterback. If I don't get the number one
for 3 though. You can be in the stratosphere.
Yeah, but you don't want to. I'm wondering, is Dave? How are you running this? I want to get a quarterback, or I'm like George Steinbrenner. I will spend any amount of dollars.
No, I'm gonna get us a top 10 quarterback in the portal coming out every year. Top 10 quarterback.
Then, a few weeks after Portnoy pledged his millions, rumors started flying around that Michigan had made a verbal NIL offer of more than $10 million to Underwood for him to go to Michigan. Now, Underwood was still committed to LSU, and he had just made an official visit to the school. But the NIL offer from Michigan was nearly triple the amount of NIL money that many experts predicted Underwood would make during his entire college football career. And it was the largest publicly known NIL offer in college sports history to boot. And the money still didn't really seem to matter to Underwood. He was still committed to LSU, and he even posted a picture of himself in an LSU uniform with the headline, "#1 QB likely to decline Michigan's $10.5 million NIL offer" on his Instagram story. Was this a negotiating tactic? Maybe. Underwood had a reported $1.5 million annual NIL deal from LSU, according to the Baton Rouge Advocate. That deal would have made Underwood the highest paid player on LSU's football team, but maybe he could even get more money with Michigan's counteroffer now on the table. But Underwood's public declaration to LSU still didn't stop Michigan. Instead, Michigan turned with the pressure and made an all-out blitz for Underwood. The school set up secret visits for Underwood with Michigan head coach Sharon Moore, where Underwood would shadow the team in meetings and practices as the Wolverines prepared for its matchup against Northwestern. Remember infamous sign stealer Connor Stalions? Well, he joined the coaching staff of Underwood's Belleville High School football team during the Michigan State playoffs. Stalions was even seen wearing a headset in the coach's box during Underwood's game. And no, Connor Stalions didn't need a sunglasses and facial hair disguise to do it this time. Barstool founder Dave Portnoy also threw his hat in the ring, joining a phone call with Bryce Underwood's family to presumably pitch them on the idea that Barstool's media machine could help Underwood make even more money in the future by growing his social media following. But the real kicker came in the form of Michigan alum and 7-time Super Bowl legend Tom Brady, who reportedly FaceTimed Underwood and made him an offer to mentor him during his college career. Now, getting firsthand support from the world's greatest sign stealer, the top guy at Barstool, and the football goat is all well and good. But let's not kid ourselves. The most important thing here was money. And that's where Larry Ellison comes in. When Bryce Underwood officially announced his commitment flip to Michigan and their $10.5 million NIL package, a number that would earn him more annually than NFL running backs like Breece Hall and Nick Chubb, Ellison was explicitly mentioned by name in the press release from Michigan's NIL collective, the Champion Circle, for his invaluable guidance and financial resources. But Ellison's name being mentioned was sort of confusing. The co-founder of Oracle, who's the second richest person on the planet, didn't even attend Michigan. However, the press release also mentioned Jolynn Ellison, Larry's wife, who is a Michigan alum with no online presence or public profile, which meant, yes, instead of a new house, a new car, or diamond, Jolynn asked her husband to bring the top quarterback in the country to her alma mater, and Larry Ellison ponied up the cash. This move was basically a middle finger to the NCAA. That's because the original goal of NIL was to allow college athletes to make money off their athletic abilities through marketing deals with businesses. But the reality is, NIL has created an entirely different beast. Now, don't be fooled. Michigan isn't the only school doing business like this. Every major college football program has a sophisticated NIL collective negotiating deals on their behalf to bring the best players to their team, no matter what the cost is. But Underwood's rumored $10.5 million NIL deal is bigger than anything we could have ever seen. And the fact that Connor Stalions, the same guy the NCAA investigated for his role in Michigan's sign-stealing scandal, was in the center of it, makes it that much more unbelievable. Love it or hate it, this is the new world of college football. Schools like Michigan will do whatever, and I truly mean whatever it takes, to land the best players because they know how important college football is to their bottom line. Boosters constantly tell athletic directors across the country that they can't help fund new locker rooms for second-tier sports like women's basketball because those very boosters that they usually rely on have already given all of their money to college football programs. This dynamic has made athletic directors more important than ever in the new era of NIL. These guys and gals have effectively become CEOs of multi-billion-dollar businesses. Just like Elon Musk and Tim Cook, athletic directors have to manage massive budgets and allocate resources based on what gives them the best return on investment. And while this dynamic is obviously crazy, it also sort of makes sense. You'll always hear that sports are the front door to a university because they're a marketing tool for the school's admissions office. And given that college football has the biggest audience in the country and drives more revenue than any other sport at a given school, a $10.5 million NIL offer to Bryce Underwood could end up being a bargain if everything goes right. Take Michigan's recent college football championship win under former head coach Jim Harbaugh and eventual NFL first-round draft pick J.J. McCarthy. Michigan saw a record 105,412 applicants for the fall 2024 semester after its national championship victory. That's a 12% increase from 2023 and a whopping 51% jump from 2020. And like many state schools, there is a giant gap between in-state and out-of-state tuition at Michigan, with in-state students paying $18,848 per year versus $63,081 per year for out-of-state students. This price difference is key because if Michigan's football team plays more big-time nationally televised games and brings home another national championship, more students will apply to the school. And while Michigan can only accept so many students each year, more out-of-state applicants means that Michigan can accept more out-of-state students, ultimately generating even more revenue with higher tuition. If you're sitting here thinking that this is a dystopian way to think about college athletics, well, that's because it is. College athletics has become a Hunger Games-style arms race. Only instead of 12 districts fighting to the death, it's college football programs fighting for the best players to keep their schools relevant and maybe, just maybe, win a national championship too. Schools like Alabama, which dominated college football under the reign of Nick Saban, know that this dystopian model works. Plus, a successful college football program can help pay for all of the school's other non-revenue generating sports and keep Title IX alive for the foreseeable future. Michigan is the first school to break the 8-figure barrier of NIL, but it certainly won't be the last. Sure, Bryce Underwood's $10.5 million NIL deal has upside, but it also has huge risk. However, if history tells us anything, these educational institutions will always reveal who they really are in the end. Billion-dollar businesses that will do whatever it takes, even if that means a multi-million-dollar offer to a 17-year-old kid who has never played a snap of college football, to keep the money flowing. Is Bryce Underwood the answer for Michigan? Well, I guess we'll find out in 3 years if it was really all worth it.